Welcome to Caribbean Brilliance, where we highlight and recognize the contribution of Caribbean Americans. We give them a platform in hopes that their stories will inspire and empower the present and future generations. I am your amazing host, Mss Francois, that's multi-talented and super sexy. And today we have a man. You know, I love it when I have a man on the show. So his name is Andrew Clarke. So Andrew here is an actor, singer, producer, founder of Braata Production. And I know what you're thinking, what the hell is a Braata? So tell the people, what is Braata mean? What is Braata Production?
Yes, Braata is a Jamaican colloquial term that means more, extra.
A little more?
Yeah, a little more. But we don't say extra because sometimes in Jamaica there's a negative connotation with extra. Like as a kid, if you're extra, that means you're a little bit too prime. So we say, say you're extra. Eh? So we like to say more. We're bringing a little more to the cultural landscape. So Braata is, as I said, the Jamaican colloquial term that means more. So let's say you go on Jamaican restaurant. Yeah, you eat oxtail?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so if you order some oxtail, and you want to nice up the lady behind the desk because you know them normally not very nice.
No, really?
You say, give me some Braata. I guarantee you she's gonna drop some extra oxtail in there because that's like a unique Jamaican phrase. Like even if you're from another island and you say that to a Jamaican, they're gonna light up because it's a very, very
good
Jamaican.
To know.
So give me some Braata now.
So as you say, you're from Jamaica, right? So all the things that you have done, is Jamaica that molded you? Because like some people, they come here and then they discover themselves and discover art. So you discovered that in Jamaica?
Definitely, yeah, man. Yes, yeah. I was fortunate to go to a prep school that had an arts program. They had a performing arts program, so we used to have productions for graduation and harvest and all these different events that we had at school. So that was in prep school. And then when I went to high school, there is a competition for prep primary and high schools in Jamaica across the island called the JCDC Festival of the Performing Arts. And so you can compete in music, drama, dance, visual arts, all the art forms, and all these schools compete at a parish level, then regionally, and then they go to the national finals to compete. And that really facilitated my exposure to the arts and really honed like my creativity because you're scored on various things. So it's not just being able to go up there and sing, but they're like, if you're singing a Frank Sinatra, let's say, for example, because the categories run the gamut from folk music, gospel, you know, American pop, and everything in between. They would challenge you to be creative. You have to come up with unique arrangements for those songs. So I would really credit the JCDC Festival of the Performing Arts with really helping to mold me as an artist. And then I went to Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts in Kingston. And then from there, I moved to the US.
So is it only because you so happen to be in the school with arts, or is this something like your family is into also?
No, we don't know about nobody that my family can perform. I don't think, maybe my mother can hold a tune, God rest her, so she may have been able to sing like a little country alto, but no one in my family was creative. And so I would say I was born. I was born with this. I was gifted because as long as I can remember, there's a particular performance that stays etched in my mind. At our prep school, you know, them always have like visiting groups from the US. So a set of white people come down and they came to the school and them give me books and pencils and rubber and that kind of thing. And so we're called to the auditorium to perform for them. And I remember them asking, them choosing me to sing for these visiting tourists. And I sang, I'll never forget, yes, Lord, yes, to your will and to your way, in front of the whole school, in front of all of these white people. They clearly saw something in me to have me represent the school. And ever since then, that the arts has been molded. People have encouraged me, you know, to continue to hone my talent. So
I'm curious, since this started so young, right? Do you think if you wasn't in arts, is there anything in your mind you would have like ventured towards?
At one point in my life, I wanted to be a pilot.
Really?
I did love planes. I still do. Now I just travel. I travel a lot. But then I found out that you have to be able to do maths for the piloting, and me and the maths thing.
So maths, just that's it. You're like,
yep, that was it. In Caribbean households, you're expected to be a doctor, a
Right.
lawyer, all these
Same thing that
traditional.
I was saying.
Yes.
Is you have your typical thing. Which one? Basically, this is what it is. Which one are you going to choose?
Yeah, yeah. And I understand it is job security, it's good money.
And they care about you. They
And
want the best for you because back then, like my parents, they left school by the time I was 9. My father left
Yeah.
school. My mom 16. So all of this, parents just wanting more. It just doesn't come across
Yeah.
too positive when they tell you.
Yeah.
So some would say you're a quadruple threat: arts, actor, singer, producer, direct. Oh my God. The list go on and on. Do you have like a favorite role?
No. They all tap into, you know, like let me say you use your right and your left brain.
Yeah.
Each of these forms tap into another side of me that when done in isolation, them just excite me in a different way. Just the sort of thing that it takes to be a singer is a different sort of commitment and discipline that it takes to be an actor and that it would take to direct or produce. So I love them all equally. If I were given a choice, though, I'd probably be a performer. I'd prefer to be a
Right, because I was not going to say to take it a step further since you didn't really want to answer my question. I was going to say one, you have to be in front, and like a
Yes.
producer stuff is more in the back. So you want to be in front and shine.
And not that alone, me can't take the stress.
Oh, the producer behind this.
Producing and directing is a lot because the show is on your shoulders. When an audience comes to see, and I mean, mind you, the actors and singers are out front there, they're under the lights, but when all is said and done, it goes back to who is the producer and who is the director. Have you done a good job of pulling
Everything
this
is
all
your fault.
together? Yes, essentially, even when they don't know their lyrics. And the director fault. So I much prefer, like I enjoy when I audition for a production and I'm sitting on the other side of the table and I'm just taking directions. That gives me so much joy, but it also gives me an appreciation of the entire process.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with that said, I see that you win a lot of international, won global awards, so forth and so on. But like Braata been around for 16 years, and then you've been doing so much in arts for so long, right? But any performance or anything you were a part of that stands out to you and you're like, yes, this is one of my favorite. Don't come and tell me all of them.
No, man, no. There are a couple that have come to mind. One, you got things that me pull your leg, but I performed at Queen's Hall many years ago. One of my best experiences. I said Trinidadians were so welcoming to me I was the only Jamaican talent on the show. I was doing a show for the Gift for Life program that we were supporting fundraising efforts for Kiwanis Club, I think it was.
Yeah.
And that for me is one of those performances that remained etched in my mind. Also, the Braata singers represented Jamaica at the World Championships of the Performing Arts in Cincinnati. That year Jamaica was celebrating 50 years of independence, and we were the second smallest group. And we were competing against choirs that were 20, 30, 50
That's not
thick.
intimidating when you see?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know if you're all confident, like, I don't know.
No, man, it was petrifying because even then, I think we were about 5 years old at that time. We had not had any experience like that. We weren't built for competing. We were doing it at the time just for the love, just for fun, and came up with this crazy idea that we were going to be in a competition and ended up winning medals. But also because of the competitive nature, I mean, who we won against definitely left a good memory in my mind about that experience.
And when it comes to Braata and you doing it for so long, is that a set amount of people? Are you adding people to this the company?
Yeah, man, yes. So Braata is multi-pronged. There is when a lot of people think of Braata Productions, they think of Braata Singers. We used to be called Braata Folk Singers. So that's the group that went to Cincinnati. But outside of that, Braata, so we have the Braata Singers. We do an annual concert series off Broadway. In June, we do performances in senior centers, one of which is viral now. I think we get about 700,000 views with an older gentleman from Trinidad. Dancing he's dancing, dancing with a Hennessy bottle on his head. I mean, it's been making the rounds on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook. So we do those senior center performances, we do caroling in the boroughs, we produce theater as well. That doesn't involve the singers. We also do after-school program and senior center programs where we bring teaching artists into the schools and into senior centers and engage them in the creation of art. So whether it's theater, dance, drama. We have a suite of family festivals that we book other groups, other cultural groups, and showcase their talents and their cultural expressions. And then, is that all? Yes, I think that's it.
You sure?
So it's
so when you
things are going all at
but
once.
when you were building this from scratch, did you see what it was going to turn into thus far?
No, not at all. When we started, I'll never forget when Facebook was safe and different, because I imagine doing that now is crazy in 2025. But I posted an Instagram status, a Facebook status, and I said, I want to start a folk singing group. Join me at this address.
We'll join you. We might rob you now, but
I would not do that now. That was somebody's home, by the way. And that's how Braata Singers started. And prior to that, we were doing plays. And it was a few friends. We went to Edna Manley together. And we just wanted a mode of cultural expression. There wasn't space for us on Broadway, off Broadway. We weren't equity actors. We didn't have our agents, our managers, and we wanted to still be able to flex our theatrical muscles. And again, we did it for the love. Nobody got paid. We charged $10 for the ticket.
Yeah.
And 16 years later, it's a mini beast. It's a thing I would have never imagined. I would be lying to you if I said, this is what I envisioned.
Wow.
16 years ago.
So look at that. Something so simple. Posted something on Facebook, coming in somebody's house.
Yes.
And now this is what it is. So even where it is now, what is the vision for the future?
Good question.
I know, because I asked it.
We're in a strategic planning process now about looking at what the next 5 years looks like. Because over the last 3 years, we've experienced exponential growth, and we never predicted that we'd have grown as quickly as we did in terms of the programs, the amount of people that we serve. We're busy, sometimes too busy. And now we have to stop for a moment, as we say in Jamaica, take a stock, see where we're at, and look at what the next 3 to 5 years would look like. And that mainly involves raising some more money. Because a lot of times people think, the arts is inexpensive to produce, and it's not. And also, in order for us to sustain the work that we do and sustain the artists, in the way that the American economy has changed, artists can't just continue to do this for the love.
Right.
You know, we love the culture, we love what we do as artists, but there also has to be remuneration. So how do we, as an arts organization, compete with somebody that says, boy, I can go work at the hospital for $50 an hour, but you're asking me to come to rehearsals for 2 or 3 hours in a time when I would be at work? How do we compete with that? So really our focus is now we have to diversify our income streams, grow our budget so that we can compensate our artists at a meaningful level so that they can commit to the art.
So with even that, like, how do you even go about raising funds? So it's 2 questions. How do you go about raising funds, like what you just said? And at the same time, how do you get into like senior centers and all these places that you currently do the folk singing, do the acting, like how
we raise the money?
Yes.
Grant writing. So Braata is a non-profit. We're tax exempt, 501c3, and that means anybody that makes a donation to us can write it off on their taxes.
Okay.
So individuals can give to us, but then there are also funders from foundations. There's corporate support that we can get. So let's say, PepsiCo or TD Bank wants to fund Braata's program for the year. They can also fund it as a corporation. Foundations, I'm thinking of folks like the Gilman Foundation, who we're fortunate to have as one of our funders, but then there's the Fords and the Mellons, big ticket funders. They can also diversify our funding stream. And then we write grants, and a lot of government officials, we've been fortunate to have partners in government at the city council level. I could name a slew of them, city council, senators, and assembly members that can designate funding for arts organizations.
Wow.
So there are a number of ways that you can raise funds.
I see, because a lot of times anytime, when it comes to the arts, people say, okay, how do I make money, or how do I keep, not even making the money, because most of the time people in the arts is because they love it.
Yep.
But at the same time, you still gotta eat. And a lot of time people, they're like, I don't know, and then that scares them, and then like, well, maybe let me just go work at McDonald's. Nothing against McDonald's, I work there.
I worked at Polar Tropical.
You got to start somewhere,
Yeah, you have
right?
to start somewhere.
Okay, and how do you get into senior sentence and to perform or different places? Because I know you was in Theatre Row or something.
Yes, we're at Theatre Row.
So how does those things happen? You just sending random emails or?
Sometimes, believe it or not, a lot of our gigs come from referrals. So we'll work with a particular client, they'll enjoy us, and because we're at that gig, they'll pass it on to family members, or someone at the event will see us and say, can I have a business card? But a lot of it involves cold calls. So we have a staff member that their job is outreach and engagement. They have a list of schools, senior centers, churches, and that's their job to call every single week and say, hey, I would like to tell you about this group, Braata Singers, Braata Productions. Here are a slate of services or programs. Would you like to bring us to your facility? Would you like to invite us to your church? And sometimes it means doing a little pro bono performance to introduce them to it, and then you have the conversation.
Because I always say too, when you do those, you don't know who's in the crowd. And that's what matters at the end of the day. Like, I have this attitude, wherever I go, I always say there's 2 people in here that's going to change my life. And most of the time when you speak it, it happens, you know? Awesome. Okay, so your production, like Welcome to America, a Caribbean musical, and there was at Bankra Caribbean Culture Festival, have gotten rave reviews. So why do you think audience connect to that? So give people a little synopsis of what that is and why you think audience connect to that.
So Welcome to America was the first musical that was homegrown, meaning we birthed it in-house. Myself, our then founding artistic director, Carla Bryan Williams, and Joel Edwards, our musical director, all came together and crafted this story. So Carl worked on the book, he wrote the script. Joel and myself, along with him, wrote the lyrics and composed a lot of the songs. And it told a Caribbean story that people could identify with. And that is one of the main reasons that I started Braata, so that people could see themselves on stage, because there are not many opportunities like that in New York City. You get to experience that bit of home, and it resonates especially with people of a particular age, because we're doing folk and heritage, which again is in a lot of ways dying. You know, that is the art. I often say that Braata is the guardians at a gate that's fast closing. Really,
because people are so distracted, and even if we come from our Caribbean island, and then, you know, we adopt so much of the...
Assimilate.
Yeah, man. So then you kind of step away from it. I realize something when you're getting older, all of a sudden you start back looking for your roots, all of a sudden you have that epiphany.
Yes. Yeah, man. So that happens with our audience skews middle age to older, and so they come back for that reminder of home. Yes. And they bring their grandkids, luckily. So then the second generation gets an introduction to Caribbean culture.
And this is like one of the reasons I have this show too, to just remind people, you know, home is still home. You know, it's nice to branch out, but take your culture with you.
Remember
and I think a lot, I think a lot of times we put it, some of us hide it, especially if you come here as a kid, you know, people make fun of you. But it's nothing like home, you know, from the food, the culture, the music, all the stuff that you do. So that's amazing. And because you're amazing, this moment, this is why I would like to present you with this amazing cup. Look at that, your name on it, you're the man. And this is in recognition of amplifying Caribbean brilliance. We thank you for your contributions.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Lord, look at this smile.
You know, mega drink out of this. Mint tea.
The mint tea?
Yes.
Is that good for your voice for when you have to sing?
Just in general. Okay. You know, we love tea in the Caribbean. Tea is the solution for everything.
Like when people tell me, oh, you want to go for coffee? I'm like, no thanks. No. I'm a tea person, 100%. And for me, it's a bush tea.
Bush tea.
When I go home, they say, take this out, stop leaf, and then they have to tell you all the things are good for. Yeah, so awesome. One thing I definitely wanted to still ask you, right? How important is it for you to preserve the present Caribbean folk tradition? And even with that, because New York is one of the largest community of Caribbean people. So when you do perform, is it mostly in New York, or you have expanded to other places?
Yeah, man. We've been fortunate to perform across the U.S., not on the West Coast, but across all down the northeastern seaboard. So anywhere from Jersey, Boston, we've been as far as Florida recently. So we've been to Florida twice. We just performed for a Jamaica Independence celebration in Fort Lauderdale. We performed in Atlanta as well. So we've been taking the culture outside of the the confines of the New York tri-state area. Because nothing like Braata exists, literally. Nothing like
No,
Braata
I really
exists.
want to come see a show.
Yeah, man, you have to come pull up. No, there's nothing like a Braata, especially with our focus on folk culture. There's no other choral group that consistently does choral music at the professional level.
And when
that
you
we're
do
doing
the
it.
music, is it mostly, I know it's folk, right? But is it, so it's more Jamaican, or you incorporate different islands and stuff like that?
We do. So part of our mission shift about 5 years ago for our 10th anniversary was that we were not only focusing on Jamaica, because a lot of people associate the name not only, but the work that we do with Jamaica. So each year, what we do is focus on the milestone independence of each island. So this year, for example, Suriname is celebrating 50 years of independence. And so we included some Surinamese songs in our set. We book a Surinamese artist to come and perform at Bankra Festival, at Caribbean, at Christmas Grand Market. One of the songs we did this year was Faluma. Mama, yeah, una mama, yeah. Enough people associate that with Alison Hines.
Right, yes.
It's a Surinamese folk
See,
song.
that's something new that I learned.
And I learned that from research, because here I was like, how me I going to represent that culture? I don't know nothing about Suriname. Don't know nothing about Suriname except that it's in South America. But that forced me to step out of my comfort zone and do some research. So each year, milestone Caribbean islands. So in a few years, it's going to be Jamaica and Trinidad, because we celebrate in the same year, we're celebrating 65 years together.
Yeah.
In past years, we've done Bahamas, St. Vincent and the Grenadines was last year, and a number of other islands. Next year coming up is Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Barbados, and one other island that I'm forgetting.
So when you put all these things together, like before, like I was mentioning, someone going to work for $50 somewhere else and all these hours, like if you're going to put a particular production together, right, on average, how much rehearsal time, how long before do you have to plan to get all these things together?
Wow.
Like I tired just looking at your face like that.
Nope. It varies. Our off-Broadway production, for example, we rehearse for 30 hours per week. So 6 days a week.
That's a whole job.
Yeah. Yes. 6 days a week from 3 to 10 o'clock for 3 weeks.
That's a lot.
To open the production. Yeah. It's not a fly-by-night like we just come and decide we're going to wrap up with it and do a little thing. We literally sit in a studio for 7 hours. Notice you go work for 8 hours. We sit in a studio for 7 hours and work out harmonies, choreography, because it's about precision and professionalism. That's been one of the reasons I started Braata, and I said, if we do anything that relates to Caribbean culture, we have to do it excellent. We have to do it to the best of our ability, and because that's part of the reason Broadway has such an allure. Not only they have a $5 million budget, but when you go to Broadway, it's a spectacle.
Yeah.
It's precise right down to the last. I did the off-Broadway production for The Harder They Come at the Public a number of years ago, and I remarked that every single night when I came off the stage and I went along my track backstage, I would see the same people every single night, because we had rehearsed that right down to the T. Every night, Ivan would come down those steps as I was walking by to go do my change, like clockwork, never failed. So that's the sort of attention that we pay to putting our productions together. So on an average, we're doing 100 hours of preparation for a show that's 2 hours long. You know, a festival takes about 6 months worth of planning from booking all the artists, booking the venues, figuring out the marketing plan, and working all the other logistics to delivering it on the day. All for it to happen in the better part of 6 to 8 hours.
Boy, I exhausted.
Lot of work. It's a
no,
lot
I
of
see
work.
why. And I'm thinking, like you said, the producer part comes with, you know, all the headbutting. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot. I think when people hear this aspect of it, the whole point is to respect it more. Because even when people see like a 30-minute show, they're like, oh, okay, that's a show. But people don't know the preparation that goes into it.
Yeah.
You know? So hats off to you, sir, because I exhausted already. So right now, what I want to do, I didn't realize I have so many questions for you.
All right, shoot.
So you have already accomplished so much. So we already talked about your vision, all that good stuff. So you as a person, Andrew Clarke, because I don't want this whole thing to be about Braata, because that's still us. So what is your life looking like outside of Braata?
That's a tough one.
I know.
It's a tough one
asked
because
these
Braata is my life.
Wow.
Braata is literally my life, and I've stepped back a little bit. I've spoken with my board, and I said it's time for the baby to be on its own now. And people said to me, "Oh, you can't step back." I'm not like stepping down from the company, but at a point, I also have to give space for Andrew.
Right.
You know, the gray
Like, how
hairs,
do you
the
know?
gray hairs are coming in. So
You just died.
me no young no more. No, yeah, die the gray hair them, but when you get up off of the sofa, you still hear the bone them creak.
I see you already. Did it already.
So I am actually working on an EP. A lot of people, somebody said to me a few years ago, they said, "Boy, I didn't know you could sing." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I'm classically trained. I went to Edna Manley and specialized in theater and voice. Me could have been singing on Broadway, I could have been at the Met, and I chose Caribbean culture and to mold this organization into showcasing and celebrating Caribbean culture. So I've not left a lot of space for Andrew the artist. I've not auditioned a lot. I have an agent, I have my equity card. Very rarely do I go to an audition. I recently gave up a production of The Wiz in Georgia because it would conflict with some work I was doing with Braata. And I constantly make that choice. I'm pulling back a little bit, recording some.
Look like a little
bit. One of the things I'm about to launch for my birthday on the 5th of August, my EP. These are songs that I recorded like 10 years ago.
Okay.
I never put them out because of, Braata taking priority, but also a bit of, what do you call that, imposter syndrome. Not thinking it would be good enough because it's reggae music. I'm classically trained. My sound is different from what people normally associate reggae music with, but I'm not getting no younger.
No, I totally understand.
I'm not getting no younger. And what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
Put it out there and let it land where it lands. So I am focusing a little bit more on Andrew the artist.
Okay, well, I'm proud of you. So it seems like it's something hard to do.
Yeah.
So I just want to test you to see your yardiness.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so finish this line. We lickle, but we...
Talawa.
Okay, calm down. You like that's easy. When somebody say, "May soon come," how long that really means?
Oh, you never know. There is no time frame for that one.
Okay, and last one. If you say, "Pass the bag of juice," what color you picturing first?
Red.
Red, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so just tell the people if they want to connect with you, where can they reach you?
On social media, Instagram or Facebook, Braata Boy, BWOY. On Facebook, Andrew Braata Clarke. Everything on Braata.
Okay.
Everything on Braata. And then for the organization, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, Braata Productions. BRAATA. You can also get us on our website, braataproductions.org.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you for having me.
I like finding out all these things that I did not know.
Yeah, man.
So this was awesome. So, guys, as always, you can definitely connect with me. That's Mss Francois, all the platforms that matters. And with that said, make sure you come back again until we lime again. Remember to inspire and empower.